so many new skincare products. I could not put this book down. Oh my goodness, I love this book so much. Hey guys, welcome back. So I have got my August favorites here for you today. So what I like to do in these videos is quickly mention my overall Friday favorites, and then I have other things to share with you. So mainly this time I have some skincare, or quite a bit of skincare to share with you, and then books. Like, I just had so many in those categories that those are the main things that I have to share with you in this video. And then of course just quickly touching on overall Friday favorites. So yeah, just some fun things to share with y'all. If you're new here, my name is Leslie. Welcome. I love to do favorites videos, new at the drugstore, get ready with me's, reviews, empties, just a lot of fun stuff here on my channel. So if you're new, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and stuck around for a while. I'd love to have you here on my channel. So yeah, we are chatting about August favorites, so let's get to it. Okay, so for overall Friday favorites for eyes, I've got to go with this LA Girl Sun-Kissed Glow Palette. Ooh, this is so good. I think this is limited edition, but I really, really hope that they consider making this part of their permanent line, because I know most of the reviews that I have seen on this palette, I don't think I can think of anybody that I've seen mention this palette who hasn't liked it. So it's just a beautiful, amazing quality palette. I love when a palette is done this way, like rows of mattes and then rows of metallic or shimmery shades. That's just like so good. You know what I mean? And then light to deeper colors. Like it just makes sense. It's a very usable sort of a palette. These are definitely colors that I would reach for a ton, that I do reach for a ton. I love the formula on these shadows. I love the color story. Such an amazing palette. For blushes, I love these Lme Healthy Hue Blushes so much. They are beautiful on the skin. So flattering. They're definitely that formula that you can kind of play with a little bit. Like a light application is just going to give you a little wash of color, but then you can really build it up. Ooh, so good. So the colors I have on that I own, Nearly Nude, I think is what this one is called. Pink Flush, I believe is what this one is called. It's pink something. I think it's Pink Flush. I'll list it down below for you. And then Wild Berry. This one is the deepest one that I have, so I have to be a little bit more light-handed with this one. These are gorgeous though. If you want to see swatches of these products, just check out the original Friday favorites where I mention them, because I go into a lot more depth discussing them and then also show you swatches and whatnot. But if you're looking for an amazing drugstore blush, they are incredible. So flattering on the skin, so forgiving. They're amazing. And then for lips, this lip combo. I love this lip combo. It is the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in Dusty Rose, my go-to favorite everyday lip liner that can just live in my purse. I can wear it by itself. I love it by itself. And then I topped it with one of these balms that I'm obsessed with from Covergirl, the Clean Fresh Tinted Lip Balm. This is in Life is Pink. Oh my goodness. Such a beautiful bright pink, but paired with the Maybelline lip liner, it kind of tones it down a little bit and just makes it a little bit more of this is kind of like a brighter pink, kind of a brighter, warmer pink, but paired with a lip liner, it tones it down a little bit and makes it kind of more of a mid-tone wearable pink. So for me, this is just like a great everyday, still kind of pop of color, but a little bit more of a wearable fun pink. I just love it. And super duper comfortable on the lips. So comfortable. Okay, let's talk about skincare. I have been trying out so many new skincare products. Almost to the point that I had to kind of tone it down and try one thing at a time, because I made my skin a little angry one day because I tried too many things at once. But I have found some new favorites. I need to do a whole skincare video because I've tried and found so many things that I love and that are really affordable, which is amazing. But I wanted to go over kind of my morning skincare routine that I've really been enjoying recently. Most of these are from Amazon, but then one thing I get from Sephora. Yes. Okay, so first off, this is a brand I've been very impressed with. I like this product and then one other one that I've tried from them. This is from CosRx. This is the BHA Blackhead Power Liquid. It says this liquid helps to remove oil and deeply cleanses while moisturizing the skin to make the pores appear smaller. So I use this after I cleanse my skin in the morning. And originally when I heard somebody talk about this, they said if just a plain BHA is a little bit too harsh or drying on your skin, try this because it's still that BHA but kind of has a hydrating sort of a property to it. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and that's totally what I have found with it. Love how this feels on my skin. It doesn't feel stripping to my skin, but it doesn't feel overly oily. Like, especially my morning skincare cannot be overly oily, especially in my forehead. I'm very combo skin. I get really oily on my forehead, but I can get dry right here on my cheeks and down here, but I can get oily on my nose and on my chin. Very, very combo skin. So next step for morning is this is another brand I've been very impressed with. This is so affordable. This little size is like $10. Double the size is like $13. I just got the little one because I wanted to try it first, but I'm totally hooked on it. This is the Costa Baja, and this is the Vitamin C Serum. It says pure vitamin C, L-ascorbic acid, 15%, vitamin B5, and hyaluronic acid. So what I love about this is a lot of vitamin C serums are overly hydrating and they're a little bit too heavy for my combo skin, especially on my forehead. Unless it's winter time, I can probably wear something a little bit more hydrating in the winter time, but a lot of vitamin C's are too hydrating for me because a lot of times they're paired with vitamin E. So this one is lighter. It does not feel overly oily on my skin. I love vitamin C during the daytime because it has that brightening, lightening, tightening. It is anti-aging, but I love using vitamin C in the mornings. So that's why I was looking for something that was just lighter and not as oily. And this is amazing. It is a dropper. This is what it looks like. So good. It's got the darker packaging, which I know is supposed to be good for vitamin C. It's awesome. Then this is the Costa Baja Galactadomyces 94 serum. I've been hearing things about this ingredient, and it's more of a fermented ingredient. Like this and rice toners and things like that I've been hearing are really good for the skin, but that some people can be sensitive to them. So, you know, kind of proceed with caution. Try it out first and see how your skin does with a fermented type of an ingredient. But yeah, this is supposed to be anti-aging, balancing to the skin. It has 94% of the Galactadomyces. Yeah. Then it also has niacinamide powder 2%, and it says skin tone balancing. This has kind of a little bit of that tackiness of like a snail serum, but not to that point. Now, I am definitely using more skincare on my skin, so I'm getting used to that feeling of skincare on my skin under my makeup, but I want to be using anti-aging stuff in the daytime too. I'm just on the hunt for finding something that works. So I can feel this on my skin. It is thicker and heavier than this, but not like it's totally fine. It feels fine on my skin, and I don't look oily with it. I look a little bit like a little bit of a glow, but nice and hydrated, but not greasy. Yeah. Next step, I've been trying out several products from Inky List. I don't know where I've been. I haven't tried this out until just recently, and I'm very impressed. This is the niacinamide, basically like a serum, and it says helps control excess oil. So I actually use this all over my skin, but I don't find this to be drying on my drier areas, but it is great for balancing on my forehead and where I'm oilier. It's just a nice light serum. Now this one does have, which one has niacinamide? This one has a little bit of niacinamide in it too, but this one, you know, I just use in addition to. So it's great. My camera cut me off because the battery died, so I had to switch that out. I do have another product. I meant to bring it in here with me and I forgot, but I'll link it down below for you. Another product that I found that I really like that is kind of like these sort of products in one. It's a vitamin C and also the Galactadomyces. A smaller percentage than this one, but it's kind of a 2-in-1 kind of product. So if you want to take out a step and just use one product, that's an option, and I really like that one too. I've been using these more than that one just because this has a higher percentage of that ingredient, but if I'm in a rush, I'll use that other one, and I really like that one too. It's not too oily on my skin, but it's not drying on my cheeks. It's just a great balancing kind of a serum. Love, love, love that. So yeah, we were on that. Then next step is this SPF. I've mentioned this before, still loving this. This is so good for under makeup. It's almost like a primer. It's like almost the texture and the feeling and the look on the skin of a smoothing prepping primer, but then you get the SPF. It's so good. It says mild airy finish. Totally. It just is not heavy. It doesn't feel gross on the skin, just very light. Love, love, love it. I mean, I don't know if I can find an SPF I like more than this. It's so good. Then I have been setting all of my skincare before my foundation. I have been setting it with a setting spray. And my go-to favorite is Urban Decay All Nighter. I just find that it locks everything in. So, you know, just with the hotter temperatures, I was really on the hunt for something that would work, like a skincare routine that would work under my makeup, but be anti-aging, but not make me super greasy and break up and all that underneath my makeup. And I really found that this combo and then setting it with a setting spray seemed to really be the key. And then sometimes I'll spray at the end of my makeup routine if I remember. But I have definitely been using it consistently to set my skincare routine. Yeah, loving all that stuff. Okay, and now we're on to books. Oh my goodness, I have a big stack here. So I have some, I've realized not only am I a mood reader, that I like jumping between genres, like going from thriller to romance to occasionally a sci-fi or something, but mostly thriller and romance are my go-tos. But also I've been loving kind of like the time of the year sort of reading. So like summertime reading, and then now I'm getting into academia, dark academia, football, you know, those kind of storylines. And then I'm also thinking towards fall and also thinking towards winter reading. So I'm just loving that idea. So I have some summer books, and then I also have some kind of like dark academia and football books. Okay, so first off, Summer Hours. This is by Amy Mason Doan. I always want to say check trigger warnings on any of these books that I mentioned. That's always a good idea, because sometimes there's just, you know, tiny little mentions or something in a book that might be triggering, or slight little storylines or something, or a big storyline. So it's always a good idea to just check your content warnings and trigger warnings for any book. So this one, Summer Hours, this is kind of like a coming of age story. She is in college. I realized that I really love reading about that time, just because that was one of my favorite times of my life, and I just enjoy that kind of like a person starting out in their life, you know, right after high school, and they're getting into college, or they're beginning their career or something. I really like those storylines. This one definitely had some like twists and turns, and so it's kind of a mix of a fiction, romance, is it kind of a mystery? I'm trying to remember if it was a mystery. Yes, okay. I read this a while ago, so it's amazing how quickly the storyline of a book flies out of my head. I remember liking it, but then I forget the details of it. So yes, there is a little bit of you're trying to figure out kind of something going on with her and her longtime friend. So there's a little bit of mystery in it too. So it's kind of a little bit of a second chance romance also. There's just a lot of things happening in this book. It's a long book, but I found myself flying through it. So I like her writing style. I did read another book of hers, Lady Sunshine. I wasn't a fan of that one. It felt totally different than this one. So this one I really love, and I like the storyline and her writing style. Next up, a thriller. Definitely check trigger warnings on this one for sure. But this one is such a wild ride. This has multiple POVs in it, and it's one of those books that kind of the different POVs that you're reading throughout the book start to kind of piece together along the storyline, which I love that as it kind of pieces together, but in a way that I'm still interested. Sometimes that can kind of annoy me. Like I get bored, like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like start piecing it together. Otherwise I just feel like I'm reading little bits of something. This is done really well. She also wrote The Lion's Den that I really, really like. So I like her writing style a lot. The basic premise of this is that it's a group of people that they're on an island to film a movie. And there are some super rich people in the storyline, so there's some kind of rich people drama, but then there's also, I can't remember what her role, but she works in the industry, and from her point of view, you know, she's not super rich or anything like that. She's just, you know, like a regular person, and that's her job. So you get to hear her storyline too, and then the end of this book got so exciting. There's some kind of weather stuff that comes in as a factor, and I could not put this book down at the end. I had to know what was going to happen. The way it all pieced together, it was so exciting. I really, really liked that book. Next up, this one is a YA. This one kind of reminded me of Something Wilder, but it's not a treasure hunt, but it is a second chance romance. And they end up going on this kind of like camping adventure with a group of friends. And then things happen that it ends up being just the two of them and kind of like trying to survive. So I don't know why I kind of like survival stories with a romance mixed together. I just really enjoy that kind of storyline. So this is that same sort of idea of, you know, second chance romance and then also a little bit of a survivor story. It's a sweet story and it is YA, so it's, you know, that's nice. It's kind of a little bit cleaner. And I just liked it. I flew through it. I liked the characters in it. It's cute. Then I got into football kind of romances. I don't know if you know this, but I love football. I love watching football. So I get really excited for fall time and football season. So I read some football romances and then I also started getting into dark academia books. So first off, this is my first time reading Mariana Zapata. She is known as the slow burn romance queen. Her books are really long. Like this one is, I think, 665 pages or something. Yeah, I think it's 665 pages. That's a long book. But I read this in, I think, like 2.5 days. I just flew through this. So it's about a football player. He's called The Wall of Winnipeg. The name of this book is The Wall of Winnipeg. Am I even telling you the names of these books? You're seeing the titles, but I don't even know if I'm actually saying them out loud. So he is a football player, and his assistant has worked with him for a couple years now. He's not necessarily mean, but he's just not very thoughtful. He's not aware of kind of how he comes across to people. So he's just sort of like in his football world, and that's his world, and he kind of doesn't, like, he doesn't say thank you and stuff like that. He just doesn't think to do stuff like that. So she kind of gets fed up and she's like, I'm done. So she quits. Well, he comes and tries to get her back, tries several times, and then he comes with an offer to her that he needs her help in some way. And the back of the book doesn't tell you what the kind of offer and thing that he needs help with is, so I don't want to spoil that for you. If you want to know, you can look it up, because I knew actually going into it and it made me want to read it more. But I don't want to spoil it if you don't want to know that. So it kind of depends on how much you want to know about a book. But anyway, so they, you know, the story kind of develops from there. She has to decide, like, what she wants to do. And it's just sweet. Even though it's so long, I just found that I really got invested in these characters. I love when an author writes their characters that you just, I mean, they can be, I don't know, playing a game of ping pong or something, and you're into it because you want to know what happens with the characters. That's kind of the idea of this. Like, I just wanted to know what was going to happen with their storyline. It's so cute. There is a spicy scene in it, but it is at the very end. So you could easily skip that if you wanted to. It was quite graphic, but it is at the very end of the book. And she has quite a few other books, so I definitely am excited to read some other books from her. Next, a dark academia book. This one is All These Beautiful Strangers. I saw somebody, I actually think her name is Leslie, on TikTok talking. I really like her account. I'll try to remember to link her down below, her TikTok. But she talks about book reviews, and I think she's the only one I've heard mention this book. This one is kind of two different stories in one that I love, and it really kept me interested. So it is a girl that she is in college. This is called All These Beautiful Strangers. She's in college, and she is trying to get into kind of this secret society, and they have to kind of do different things, and it's kind of like a dark secret society. So that's kind of the dark academia part of the storyline. But then also her mom went missing a number of years ago, and it was kind of like an unsolved, like, you know, it was sort of assumed that one thing happened, but she's kind of wondering about it. Like, so she's trying to figure out what happened with her mom. So you get that storyline, and then you also get her, like, in the secret society storyline, but then you also get some past storyline of her parents. You start to kind of get their story. And I just loved it. The kind of jumping around really kept me interested. The only thing is sometimes with a storyline like that, things will be revealed and then later it's kind of mentioned again, and I'm like, wait, does this person know that? Because I kind of forget, like, where it's revealed. Like, whose storyline did we learn that little piece? You know what I mean? Like, oh, does that person know that? Wait a minute. So I got a tiny bit confused sometimes, but overall I loved this book. Kept me interested. It's a long thriller. It's like 440 pages or something like that. That's long for a thriller, but I still flew through it quickly. And then last up, oh my goodness, I love this book so much. This is The Cheat Sheet from Sarah Adams. This is the most, like, give you a cavity, sweet romance book ever. It is, I've heard people say it's cheesy. Sure. If you like Hallmark movies though, and you just like that, like, oh, that's so ridiculously sweet and cute, I think you'll love this book. The characters are funny. I laughed multiple times out loud reading this book. That doesn't happen a lot, but I kept kind of giggling and laughing. The main girl character, I think she can kind of get a little bit annoying, but overall, I just loved it. 5-star. This has to be my new favorite romance book. It is clean, like it is still sexy and romantic, but there's not actual spicy scenes in it. It's like that. I think it's called Fade to Black. I think it's like a fade to black situation where, you know, whatever, it doesn't, like, it's not on page. Anyway, so good, loved it, didn't even tell you what it's about. It's a second chance romance. No, it's not. It's a friends to lovers romance. So they have been friends for a long time, and they're basically both in love with each other. And you get to kind of see, it's multiple POVs, so you get both their storylines. Anyway, I can babble on about this book. It is so cute. I loved getting to hear both of their storylines and their thoughts. It's just adorable. It just made me smile. I literally was reading this book, like, smiling the whole time. And you know, doing this, like, oh, just so sweet. I loved it. Okay, that was a lot of skincare and book discussion, but I just am so excited about these things. So I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Please do a thumbs up if you did. Let me know down below what you have been loving. Makeup, skincare, hair care, fashion, books, home, whatever. I would love to hear your favorites. Let me know that down below. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video.